What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Shifting Lanes, and for this video I'm going to give you a quick tour of the 2022 BMW iX xDrive 50. I'm in the process of filming the official review of this car, so if you want to check out that video, click on the link up in the right corner. When it's ready, it's going to be right there. But I'm just going to give you a quick tour for now of what this car is all about, and I'll start with the exterior first. This is a pretty polarizing car. It has that big BMW grille that you've seen in the 4 Series before, so it's kind of a questionable look. And given that this is an electric vehicle, you don't really need a grille anymore. So that big grille is really BMW's design choice. It doesn't need to be there. What needs to be there is these active vents that will open and that will cool the battery. As for the rest of the front end, you could see the beautiful LED lights there. They output a ton of light at night, and the automatic high beams is very, very bright. This model also comes with the titanium bronze option, so you see a lot of bronze pieces all throughout the car. And let's go around the side and you see the 20-inch wheels. The wheelbase is 118 inches apart, so that's fairly long for a mid-size crossover or an SUV. BMW calls this the SAV, or Sports Activity Vehicle. This one has the dynamic handling package. It gives you rear steering and also air suspension, so you could actually raise and lower the height of this car. So with the rear steering, it actually makes the car feel kind of like a shorter wheelbase car. And I don't know if you could see the tracks around here, but that really tight track, that was me circling around. So if you're driving around a tight parking space, this car is actually highly maneuverable. Before we go to the back, let's take a look at some of the other bronze pieces. It kind of breaks up the monotony of the side. And here you could see the door handles, which are integrated. Again, this is for better aerodynamic efficiency. And here you could see there's some cameras, and there's plenty of cameras around the car. You could do a 360-degree view while you're sitting inside, and you could check that everything's okay from a parking perspective. And if you look at the back, you've got really beautiful slim LED taillights, and there's no exhaust obviously because this is an electric vehicle. And here you can see the xDrive 50 and the iX badge on the side. There's also the iX M60, which is a much more powerful version of this car, but that has less range. Now, if we take a look at the back here, let's pop this open. What's interesting here is that you have another set of taillights. Now, since the taillights from the hatch is located purely on the hatch, I'm guessing this is some sort of a DOT requirement where you still need to show that there's, you could indicate to others behind you that you're applying the brakes or the blinkers. And back here, you could release the second row if you want to, which opens up to 77 cubic feet of space. A lot of room for activities, and let's shut that down. Next, let's jump inside the car, and to do that, just kind of pull on this handle. Let's start the car. And the interior of this car is really beautiful. The interior is has the Amido perforated leather look. This is actual leather, and it's been tanned using olive leaf, which is, I guess, a more sustainable approach. It looks good, but I think this kind of looks like a bare mattress or maybe your grandma's couch. If you go with other interior options, you're going to have a different pattern on here. And if you look ahead, beautiful single curved screen that combines the infotainment system and also your digital instrument cluster. There's a lot of features in here, and you could either use voice or this iDrive rotary dial or even the touchscreen if you want to. But if you're used to BMW's iDrive menu selection, then you're going to be pretty comfortable with this. Basically, on the left-hand side, you have a single column, which is one menu, and then the rest of the screen is another set of menus. So to do that, you basically have to toggle between left and right on this glass dial, and you could also rotate it as well. Of course, there's a bunch of shortcut buttons. This is a single wooden button panel, and I really like the texture, and I think it looks really nice. Of course, you've got like this, I think it's glass or some sort of a crystal, I'm not really sure, but it looks super fancy. You can see that with the start button and also this gear selector. And there's more of this effect around in other places like the seat adjustment and also the memory seats. This looks a bit gaudy, but I think it's a nice reminder that you spent a good chunk of change in this car, because as is, this starts at around $83,000. And with all of the packages in this car, this is around $95,000 with delivery. So pretty pricey. And to continue more on the interior, you've got this hexagonal steering wheel, 2-spoke design. I love the buttons on here. They're tactile, even though they're a single panel, but they work pretty well. And also you could adjust what's seen on the screen here using these buttons. And also there's a heads-up display that's very, very big. As for the glass roof, you've got this really cool roof that they call the panoramic eclipsing roof. This is why the car is really expensive. And you could switch between opaque and transparent at the touch of a button. I think that's a really cool effect, and that should reduce the internal temperatures in this car when you're on a hot, sunny day. Continuing on, you've got some heated armrests in here, and that opens up to a decent amount of space down below. There's a wireless charger, 2 USB-Cs, your cup holders, this giant space where you could store stuff. There's no transmission here. This is all direct drive. It's an EV. So yeah, plenty of space for you to put your stuff down. And when it comes to the stereo system, this is equipped with the Harman Kardon. I think there's 12 speakers in here, and for my average ears, I think it sounds really fantastic. There's also the Bowers & Wilkins upgrade, which is another $3,400, and that gives you 4D audio, 30 speakers, and about 1,600 watts of audio power. I think for the normal person, you could probably skip out on that package. Let's move on to the second row, and to get out, there's a button on here that will release the latch. So in case you lose power for whatever reason, there's also a mechanical latch down here that you could open. Let's go to the second row, and already you could see how much space there is. There's about 38.9 inches of legroom. And also you get to see the same type of material, which is really comfortable in the second row. Jumping inside, you can see more speakers here, and there's USB-Cs, and there's this open slot for something that I'm not really sure what that is yet. And you've got venting on the center console, on the B-pillar here, and also by your feet. So if you're a second row occupant, I think you're gonna like it back here because the view's awesome, and also you're gonna be pretty comfortable. And since I'm sitting on the outboard seats, I could also turn on the heated seats as well. So that's the quick tour of the 2022 BMW iX. But before I go, I wanna give you this little cool, weird thing that this BMW iX has, and that is this badge. If you press on it, that's how you fill the washer fluid. That's just insane. Considering that you can't even open the hood very easily, there is no engine in there, and sadly there is no front trunk like in most EVs, but this just shows you that BMW doesn't want you to mess around with what's inside, because that's all electrical stuff anyway. And in terms of performance, this thing is powered by dual motors. It has 516 horsepower and about 584 pound-feet of torque. You could go 0 to 60 in about 4.4 seconds, which is super fast. But this has been such a treat to drive this entire week. I love this car, and if you want to see that review, again, check the links down below, so it'll be there when it's ready. Until next time, this has been a quick tour of the 2022 BMW iX xDrive 50, and I'll see you in the next one.